All right, so listen, here are the top 3 mistakes that are making your affirmations useless and how to fix them fast. So there's actually a lot of mistakes, common mistakes that people make when it comes to doing affirmations. We're just going to talk about the top 3 because they are the most common ones that I see, and they hold people back time and time again, which just causes frustration because you've been doing affirmations for weeks, months, maybe years, and nothing has come of it. You haven't felt any change. You haven't seen any difference in results. Nothing has felt different. So you might be doing one of these 3 things. So the first one, which is one of the most common ones, is that you're just saying words without feelings attached to them. Listen, we've talked before, our subconscious mind works on feeling, not just repetition. So if you say the same words 1,000 times, it doesn't matter if there's no feeling attached to what you're saying. You have to have this emotional energy behind the words that you're saying. That is what is going to imprint into the subconscious mind. Remember that our conscious mind is our intellectual mind. That is our thinking mind. Our subconscious mind is our feeling mind. And our actions, everything comes from our subconscious mind, which is 95 to 99% of our actions are coming from our subconscious mind. So if we are not addressing the feeling behind our affirmations, then you're just saying words to say words. It means nothing. It's maybe if you did it enough times, you might have the slightest bit of change, but if you're not getting that emotional attachment to the words that you're saying, then it's not really doing anything for you. So this is one of the biggest, most important things. And sometimes when we have something on our list and it just becomes a to-do, right? Like, okay, did my affirmations for today. Oh, did my gratitude for today. And you just wrote things out, or you just said things, or you just listened to them. But your mind was maybe somewhere totally else. It was on something completely different. You were on the rest of your to-do list. What else do I have to do today? Make sure that I check it off. And you're just doing it, but you're not actually present. You're not spending the time in quiet, actually letting these things soak in. Then it's not going to do anything for you, right? So you've got to stay focused on what you're doing, what you're saying, and what emotion you're attaching to it. That is huge. Very, very important. So don't just say words to say words, because it's not going to have a meaning behind it and it's not going to get you anywhere. Okay, so this is one of the most important parts. The second one is saying affirmations that you actually do not believe. You don't have the belief behind the words you say. I cannot stress this enough. Your belief is everything. It is everything. So if you're saying the words, I am a millionaire, I am successful, I am whatever it is, all it's going to do is trigger resistance if inside you're coming from lack or desperation. If you're saying that I feel abundant when actually you're feeling lack, insecurity, worried about money, all of these different things, then those words that you're saying are actually going to have a negative effect. They're going to push you back instead of bringing you up, because you're saying the words that I'm abundant, I'm successful, I'm a millionaire, I'm whatever it is, I am financially secure, I have an abundance of money, I have money flows to me easily. Like, you're saying all these things, but if you are so much in the lack and desperation of needing the thing, then you're just going to push it away. You're just going to create a huge wall, a barrier of resistance that is going to keep you from actually achieving what that affirmation is supposed to achieve. So you need to work on your belief system first. And how do we do that? We've talked about that a lot on this channel, so go back to some of the previous videos to help you understand a little bit more about how to create the beliefs. But you have to get in, you've got to do the internal work. Because if you're saying affirmations that are so far from where you're actually feeling, you're gonna have a huge amount of resistance. So you've got to go in and do the work and understand how to work on your beliefs so that you can actually say these things and mean it and believe that it's going to happen and put the trust and the faith behind it. Okay, so it's not just empty words that are actually causing more friction and resistance than they are bringing that thing to you. So this is hugely important. Don't say things that you don't actually believe could ever happen for you. And yes, in the beginning, you might not have those beliefs fully firm yet, but if you have some faith and trust that it's going to happen, maybe you don't know how, maybe it's a little far-fetched right now, but you can have some belief, even that little bit. So they say, faith the size of a mustard seed. If you can have just that little bit of belief, you can build on that. But if you have zero belief that this could ever happen, and you feel like, you say the words, I'm a millionaire, but inside you're like, that's bullshit. Like, no, you're so far from it. There's no way that you can say these words. I just feel complete conflict. Just does not feel right. Because listen, the universe responds to your vibration, right? It does not respond to your words. It responds to the feeling behind it. So again, if you don't have the belief and you're saying the words, I'm a millionaire, and inside, underneath that, there's anxiety, there's stress, there's worry, there's doubt, there's fear. That is what is being projected out there. So make sure that you have that belief behind the words that you're saying, or you're just going to create more issues for yourself. And then the third biggest thing that I see is not personalizing your affirmations. Because so often we just say things that somebody else used this affirmation, it worked for them, so we take it on and we think this is going to be right for us. But if, again, you haven't done the internal work, you don't know where your personal blocks are. You don't know where your personal frustrations are. You don't know where your personal goals are, what your desires, your dreams, what you actually want to achieve. And if you're just saying words that somebody else gave you, or you heard somebody else saying them, and they're not actually intended for you personally, they haven't been, tailored for you, then they're not necessarily going to help. Maybe it would cause like a little bit of general assistance. Maybe it would help you in a small amount, but you're not going to get the big effect is if you have done the work and you've understood, you've looked at discovering what your paradigms are, discovering what your blocks are, looking at where you actually want to go, what your goals are, what you're trying to achieve, because maybe being a millionaire isn't it for you, or a billionaire for some people. Maybe that's not what you actually want, and that doesn't light you up. So you have to know what is right for me personally, and where am I being held back at this moment? What are the things that I need to address? So if you don't do that, and you don't have somebody maybe helping you uncover these things, which is exactly where mentorship and coaching is so important, because we need that person outside of us sometimes to be able to recognize and see, this is where you're being held back. This is where we need to address. These are the areas that we need to work on. And sometimes we can't see ourselves, and it's very hard to know. And so you just think, well, this person was really successful and they said this affirmation, so I need to say that affirmation. So we need to be very careful about the ones that we're saying. So these are our top 3. So quick recap. Again, just focusing on empty words without emotions behind them. Not having the belief behind what we're saying, coming from a lack and desperation, and not having a personalized affirmation. So remember what we are trying to do when we do affirmations. A couple of things. We are actually trying to change our neurophysiology. So we have this beautiful thing called neuroplasticity. And if you don't know much about it, it is amazing, because this means that we can actually change, alter these neural pathways that we have dug from years and years and years of repetitive thoughts, repetitive things happening, repetitive, whatever it is. But we have dug these grooves within our brain and our mind, and we are able to actually alter those through this beautiful thing of neuroplasticity. Now, it doesn't happen overnight, but we have to know that we can do it. So this is what is really important, and it's why it's so key that you do have repetition of your affirmations. You're not changing them every day. Work on the same thing for a while, because depending on how deep those grooves are currently, that's how much work you might have to do to actually alter and change, so that now we are changing our subconscious mind. We are changing where these things are coming from, where our action is coming from. So remember, it's all deep within there. These things are programmed in us, right? They have been programmed from years and years of doing the same things over and over. So that's why we have to think in a different way, so that we're starting to change these pathways. And one of the fastest ways to do that, again, is through meditation. So if you don't already have a meditation meditative practice, or maybe a meditation where you are working on your affirmations within your meditation. So you're in a different frequency, you're in a different brainwave, which is going to be much more receptive. And in that state, you are much more easily able to make these changes so that you can actually alter and use that neuroplasticity more quickly than you would if you're just doing it while you're fully conscious. It's fine to do them, while you're driving or while whatever else. That's okay, as long as you can get the emotion and all that behind it. But you also, if you want to have the fastest impact, doing them during a meditation is going to be the most impactful. So I hope that this helps so that you can look at these 3 mistakes and see where are you falling in this and where do you want to change this, so that you can actually have some results from your affirmations. And make sure that you like and subscribe so that you can get more updates on how you can build success faster in your business. And until next time, always expect prosperity.